All right, YouTube. Here's the thing. I am a navigator. I'm sure most of you know what a navigator is, but I'm a navigator for Christ. And what that means is I am like a guide. Every one of us has a preacher inside of us. Once we get a relationship with God and we have experiences, our testimony then becomes our tool for trying to draw people to Christ and to have the same salvation and reap the same life benefits that we do. So, because of like I said, my experience and my testimony is my experience with Christ, the things that I've gone through myself. That's called being a primary source. So, any knowledge that you receive from me is because of me being the primary source. I have experienced something that has undoubtedly in my mind made me realize that God is real and God is alive. And if we would just follow him, then our lives would take a turn for the better, not just for our salvation, but just period as a whole, our lives would take a turn for the better. Now, that doesn't mean that you're immune to the pains of life, death, and sickness, illnesses, things like that. But it does mean that those things will not affect you the way that they would affect someone else who does not have the power of Jesus Christ living inside of them. So let's talk about being a navigator. Navigators you should trust and navigators that you should not trust. Okay, I've noticed that a lot of people take relationship advice from people who are not in relationships. Like, you'll go to your friends and you'll talk to your single friends about what you should do about a relationship. And I'm sitting here thinking in my head, why would you go to those friends if they're sitting in the same boat as you? If you desire a relationship or if you have a relationship, why would you get any kind of advice from somebody who's not in one? Yeah, that's kind of crazy, right? When you think about it like that. Okay, so think about it in a navigator's sense. If I'm a navigator, right, and I have directions to get to eternal joy, I have the directions to eternal joy right here on a map. This isn't actually a map. This is one of my wife's workouts. I have the directions to eternal joy on this map here. All right. So I've actually already been. So being that I've already been, I've mapped out all the directions, and all you'd have to do is follow this map to get there yourself, correct? Well, the Bible is the map, all right? So if you use the correct map, the Bible is the map to get to that eternal joy. So that eternal joy and salvation is in here within these pages. And it takes an open mind to trust it because, yeah, this book was written a long time ago. Yeah, there are false preachers out there. Yeah, everybody nowadays thinks that they're a motivational speaker. But that's the problem. This here, if their advice isn't rooted in this thing here, and isn't from their own experience, then guess what? The person that you're listening to is a false navigator and they have no idea where they're going, because you got to think about the direction that they're going in, the direction that they're already in. If you see them doing the same exact things that you're doing, they're in these clubs and partying and being around a bunch of women, or if they're a woman, being around a bunch of men and in the same place at all times. Are those really traits that you would want somebody, like, do you want to follow that person to where they're going, that path of destruction and that path to meeting somebody who is honestly in the same boat that they are in? The problem with our society today is it teaches us that if we continue to do the same thing over and over and over again, then eventually we'll get different results. And the enemy, he's so smart because he's gotten people fooled into thinking that they can brush God off and not get close to God and still be happy and still maintain a relationship. I know people, I've seen a page on Facebook. It's called the Anti-White Knight Coalition. and there's another page called Hoe Busters. These pages are specifically designed to bash women. They're from and written by men who actually have been in relationships and have had experiences. And they were bad experiences, and because they didn't have God, they couldn't turn those bad experiences into good lessons. So because they couldn't turn those bad experiences into good lessons, what they've done is pretty much handicap themselves for future love and future trusting someone. Because matter of fact, I saw something the other day. He said somebody up there said, I gave her hugs and kisses, and I gave her the good morning and good night text, and I opened the door for her, and what else? It was one more thing. I opened the door for her. Oh, and I didn't pressure her for sex. And I'm feeling her, and she wasn't feeling me. So why is it that we're not together, or something like that? And I'm like, duh. It's because you're not enough until you got this bad boy living inside of you. You're not enough until you got Jesus Christ. All right. That's the problem with everybody today. The enemy is so smart. He's gotten people afraid, fearing this book, fearing being accountable for their actions. No one wants to adhere to God's moral law because they feel like it takes away from everything else, that they're going to be able to have fun in life or whatever. But I tell you right now, those things that you feel like are fun, all of them, those sins, all of them have negative side effects. The most notable is that the eternal damnation of hell. And no one wants to be in that state of shame and just disgrace. So I don't understand why. No, I do understand, because I was there before. But I'm telling you, it won't get easier. It will get harder. But guess what? You only have tough battles when you're a strong opponent. Your enemy won't attack you right now because guess what? You're weak. You're on his side. Why would he attack his teammates? The devil doesn't attack his teammates. He attacks God's people because he knows that they are a factor and they could change the world for the better. So please stop following the navigators that aren't using this as their map for life. Okay, if you want to be happy in life, you want to have joy, you want to have peace, you want to be without worry, you want to be without fear of the future and of anything. The only fear that you'll have is of God, and fear as in respect and admonition, because he is God. He is above us. His ways are not our own. So if we decide to keep following the ways of the people who are telling us about their bad experiences, and their bad experiences, and their bad experiences are just that, bad experiences, instead of the people who have found Jesus Christ, and he's helped turn those situations around for their good, those bad experiences are now good lessons. You tell me who's navigating their boat in the right direction. I think you should hop on this boat here, because it's worth just giving it a try. Because if you really give it 100%, I promise you, you'll be so much happier. You'll be so much sounder. And the thing that benefits the most from this, remember I said earlier how you're not immune from bad decisions. The thing that is going to benefit the most from you getting a relationship with Christ in the natural sense is your own decisions. And guess what? Your decisions are the only thing that you can control in this life. You can't control what people say to you. You can't control what they do to you. You can't control what happens to you. But you can control how you react to all of those situations.